Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Cold War Gates. I'm here to finish what I started. Originally, I was planning to finish this cast on Thursday, but it turns out there's been a scheduling issue. Neblime and State Zero were not able to cast the match of the week today, so they're going to do that on Thursday, and I'm going to finish this today. Now, if you missed yesterday, as you can see, we are casting Team GOSU against Korean Mechanics in the Tier 1 division, I guess. We watched the first 3 series yesterday, and today we're going to watch Cenderze versus Mazer and Eskia versus Forte. And that being said, let's just get right into it. We're going to get into the first game of Cenderze v Mazer. All right, here in the top right of Goodnight is the teal Zerg Cenderze sporting that BSL tag. And the bottom right in the magenta Terran, it's Mazer. Of course, we have Cenderze on Team GOSU and Mazer on the Korean Mechanics. Alright, so Cenderze I've seen a few times. Mazer is new to me, so that's exciting. And as pointed out in the chat, well, okay. Yeah, so it was pointed in the chat that the Overlord did go in the right direction, and then just turns around right away. But the thing is, like, I feel like you don't really want to, like, full send the Overlord into the Terran main. Like, it'll just die to Marines. I guess Protoss you can pretty much send it right into their base for a long time, but not here, and that's fine. Thank you for the follow, Twinkie Hut. Good to see you. So I'm interested to see what these players are going to choose to do. So I have, I'm missing some of these panels. Hold on. Yep. There we go. All right. You think I would have learned all of these hotkeys by now, but this is not the case. Alright, looks like it will be a 12 hatch from Cenderze. Very standard. Meanwhile, if Mazer is going to get that gas on one base, it'll have to happen pretty soon, but I'd wager we're going to see a quick expand here. I've said it before, but it seems like 90% of the ZVTs in CPL end up being 2Rax Academy against 2Hatch Meta. We have a double scout here from Mazer. It's not too unusual. Definitely the safer way of playing if you're worried about getting 9 pulled. But that's not what's happening here. It's completely standard. So I assume we're going to see the command center go down on 18. Yes. Ooh, look, even one of the scouting SUVs is coming back home to do that. Oh wait, were there 3 scouting SCVs? This one went out pretty far out. I don't know if that was a misclick or what, but 3 scouting SCVs is definitely extreme. This lair is already on the way here for Cenderze, taking up very quickly. Sometimes in CPL we see like 3 hatch muta or even lurker builds way more often than we see them in other places, but it seems like we might be headed towards a fairly straightforward 2 hatch muta here. Meanwhile, the Terran base, that bunker is done. The command center is coming along. We have a few links here just to to poke at the front, but I don't think they should commit or anything like that. The lair is done. The Spire is going to get started right away. So I'm just not going to waste any time here. Meanwhile, the Academy's coming online. For Mazer, I want to see the eBay started before the end of the Spire. I think, if I remember correctly, that's the timing that you're aiming for. Again, guys, I am a Protoss player, and here we go. I finally have something substantial to talk about. So Cenderze is getting this third pretty quickly here. It's not that unusual anymore. I feel like maybe this is still a bit early. Like, I feel like the 5-minute, 5:30 mark is like where Zerg is getting their third now. But like when I started following Brood War a few years ago, when a remastered came out, Zerg wasn't getting their third till like 8 or 10 minutes. Like, they were like trapped on their 2 base for a long time. But it seems like, I don't know if they've like gotten better at the muta micro, or like something about the map, so the meta has changed. But Zerg are just going crazy with these fast third bases. Like, I distinctly remember being told that ZVT was all about whether Zerg can get their third base, and now people say it's all about whether Zerg can get their fourth base. It's just moving the goalposts. Meanwhile, the mutas are coming online here. Ooh, not? Oh, okay, there we go. There's an eBay somewhere. I can't find it, but I promise you it's being built. Here we go. Do have an eBay here. You know what? Maybe. So Deblime usually casts without this panel, and you know what? We're gonna try that. How do I remove this? There we go. Nice. Alright, look at all this screen real estate we have right now to watch these mutas come in here and lay waste to this mineral line. 2 turrets finish right in time, and there's a third one down here at the bottom. The natural, though, is mostly undefended. Just a few Marines here. Not even a building to scout above the cliffs. So far, Cenderze is just checking the map. So shortly after, the warp gates were cold because back in the Stone Age year of 2010, I submitted one of my StarCraft 2 replays to a guy on live stream. If you remember, that was a thing. We would cast replays. And I had bad macros, so he said my warp gates were cold. And for some reason, I decided to identify myself by that. And here we are. So these mutas here are definitely bullying this little Bioforce. Oh man, this is annoying. I can't tell what this is. Okay, it's a factory. I have to like check the list. That's the problem. I wish like this panel was just way smaller. Like, what if like I clicked on this and there was like a little wireframe factory right here? That would be legit, right? Anyway, not too much damage on either side. We do have 3 drones crossing the middle of the map, misrallied by mistake. We got a bunch of buildings coming up in the Zerg base. Looks like Evo, Hydra, and Queen's Nest. Yeah, this is the problem. I can't tell what things are with their building. The mutas do make it to the natural, but now there's 4 turrets laid out in a nice line here. They all get to fire at once. Cenderze has a rough time pulling those mutas out in time to reset the targeting. The hive is coming along for Zerg. So Mazer might be gearing up to actually move out on the map now. So far, been completely defensive here. See that the supply counts are very close. Lurker Tech is on the way. Is it going to be up in time to stop this push if it comes out? I mean, I'm not even sure if it's necessary. There's plenty of mutas here. Alright, you know what? I've decided that I do like this. I can count on mutas. There are 10 mutas. Definitely a substantial flock. We got E11 now. Wicker Tech almost done. There are some Hydras here, but only one sunk. I mean, maybe this push can do some damage. I don't know, but Mazer just doesn't really seem to be worrying about that. Staying in a home here. Anchoring up. Got the 2 science vessels coming. And a second eBay for more upgrades. Definitely gearing up for the later game. The hive is done. I assume we're about to see a defiler mount. I mean, so in the chat, NCX points out that I used the word flock, which apparently is not a settled term. There's other, I don't know, flock makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know, what do you call a group of bats? I don't think that's a flock, that's something else, right? They're definitely more bat-like than bird-like. Like a swarm of mutas, that doesn't work. I don't know, a cloud of mutas? A murder of mutas, okay. We have this murder of mutas here going back into the natural, taking a lot of fire from these turrets, but taking down a lot of SCVs at the same time and forcing this squad of Marines to come back home. So the thing about murder, though, is like nobody actually uses that for crows, right? Like, I guess, I don't know, I guess where I live, I guess I don't encounter crows on a regular basis, so I don't have the opportunity to be like, hey, look at all those crows. But like nobody actually uses the term murder for a group of crows. It's just like a trivia effect. But like flock is a word that like people actually use. We have a relatively fast third base coming up for Terran here. You have a drop getting ready to go. But I'm just worried that like Cenderze is just getting to do whatever they want. Like even if Mazer is mankering pretty well here, like the supply is pretty close. Zerg hasn't taken any damage at all. Hive Tech is here. The mutas took some damage from the turrets, but most of them are still here. One Overlord though, caught in the middle of the map. Ooh, all right, the Defiler does get irradiated. Manages to throw down the Panic Dark Swarm before irradiating a Jerome buddy there. You know, without any tanks, I think this is going to be pretty rough here. Now, something that it took me until relatively recently to learn is that Dark Swarm actually doesn't protect buildings. Which is funny, so Dark Swarm will not protect the sunk, but it will still protect these lurkers. There's not that many vessels to irradiate them all. I'm not sure. Oh, the drop went to the main here. I did not even see this happen, but Cenderze did, and we'll clean this up. And this is such a juicy location to drop here with all of these tech buildings, but Cenderze is definitely aware of that. Oh, we irradiated an Overlord. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Probably not good enough. Well, it does bruise some of these drones, but I don't know. I was gonna say maybe drop over here, but there's already 2 Defilers and a Nidus Canal anyway. Ooh, the vessel's taking a lot of damage here from the spores, and that just softens them up for the Scourge. Oh, we can see a big juicy play on this whole army. Oh my god, that hits almost everything. There's like one vessel and a couple of units in the back that don't get hit. Oh, they all get aggroed into the lurkers. Oh my god. Okay, look. The other day, somebody tried to argue that Storm is better than Plague. And like, look. Storm's pretty good. I'm not complaining a Storm is too weak. But Plague is on a whole other level. I think we're about to see another one here. Oh my god, the medics just got finished healing up all of these Marines. And again, they get aggroed here onto the defenses. There's 2 sunks and plenty of lurkers behind. These mutas swoop in here, finish off one of the vessels. It's just one left, and it was Plague, so it's gonna go down if anyone even looks at it wrong. Now, in the corner of my eye, in the production tab, I see ship weapons and Yamato. Okay, we got a second armory going down. So this could be like a whole mech switch, or like, I don't know, like a air switch? Like, because there's a third starport somewhere. Here it is. So, like, are we gonna go heavy into the BCs now? I mean, interested to see, but my understanding of battlecruisers in this matchup is that they're like a way to put a pressure. They're a way to put pressure on Zerg when you are ahead, but you can't kill them. Sorry about the road noise, guys. Too hot in my apartment if I close the windows. You know, it turns out though that they do have fire trucks in places other than the Bronx. Like, I'm out here all the way in New Jersey and we finally have fire truck technology. Seems like the Terran push is coming back. We need to escort this command center to the 4th location. Oh my god, the 5th location. Okay, I feel like maybe this command center was built and then Mazer forgot about it and built this one here. So Terran's actually going to be on quite a few bases if this command centers actually make it out there. Anyway, what my point was, I'm worried about this BC switch. Like, I don't think you can just make battlecruisers. Like, I think you need to be in a certain position. Like, you need to be, like, taxing Zerg. And, like, out on the map. I think if you just YOLO the BCs at the Zerg on their own, they're not that good. And like, they don't contribute that much to a big fight. But maybe, maybe about to be proven wrong here. We did have Ultras on the map. Pretty well upgraded here. They are going to run up this ramp to the Terran 4th, which is very quickly cut off. Same time, there's a small fight here outside of the Terran Natural. There's a lot of fires for Terran to put out right now. It irradiates all over these Ultralisks. Oh man, this is looking pretty scary for Terran here. I mean, it's just not that much. Like, Terran keeps taking a lot of damage in the army, and Zerg's economy has mostly been left alone after that drop. Oh, but the upgrades are very good for Terran. 3-2 here, so maximum damage on the Marines. Look at this. Zerg is thinking about taking yet another base. This irradiated Ultra is still hanging out. I feel like a broken record at this point, but Zerg is balling out of control right now. We do have the first battle cruiser operational here. Not sent up yet though. Maybe trying to rebuild it, or trying to build up a flock of battle cruisers first. We even have a 4th starport. This is pretty nuts. This is like TVT levels of battlecruiser spam. Wings headed to the space. Oh, and they're supported by some ultras. Terran Army definitely wants to get over here pretty quickly. Look at how quickly that a bunker went down. Space is going to get cleaned up very quickly here. It's like quickly several times in the last 10 seconds. It feels awful. Oh, now the irradiated ultras in the mineral line. SCB is taking heavy damage. Bioforce getting overrun here, maybe. Or they just barely hold on. Look, okay. Just do something with battle cruisers, please. Like, even if they just, like, hover over bases to kill lanes, like, just do something. Meanwhile, a handful of Lings being supervised by an Ultra here at the turn 4th. Doing so much DPS to this command center, it's not going to be lifted. There, just barely. It's in infestation range. And a drone was brought here? Okay, I'm going to assume that this was, like, a misrally or, like, an accidental, like, box select, but like, oh my god, can you imagine the BM if this drone built a hatchery here? Meanwhile, in Terra Natural, there are orange clouds everywhere. The BCs show up, but their advanced lasers can't get through all this dust. And Mazer taps out with the G. So we're gonna head into game 2 here. Hopefully in the next game, Mazer can get some damage on the map, because otherwise I think Cenderze is just going to grow out of control like we saw in that game. Alright, we're going to get into Eclipse here. Zerg in the top right. It's Cenderze. And the bottom left, and the blue Terran, it's Mazer. Now, I mentioned the BSL tag in the first game, but I didn't really elaborate on it. If you're not aware, BSL is another, I guess, amateur tournament open to anyone. The ladder portion of BSL 15 just finished, but they don't take very long, and there's like several a year. So if you are interested in that kind of thing, definitely stay tuned for BSL 16. Basically, what you do is you just create a new ladder account with the BSL tag. You play your 25 to 40 ladder matches, and then you get ranked in you get placed in different tiers of tournament. There's it goes from Coach-Pupil League to Pro League. Pro League matches, you play some of the best foreign players that are out there and get casted by a lot of cool people. And just shortly after, this is a best of 3. All of the CPL official matches are best of 3, which is it's one of my favorite things about CPL, honestly. It's one of the things that you don't really get outside of this tournament format. Okay, I know I'm going to be playing a best of 3 against this player on this map, or on these maps, so I can plan out a whole strategy, right? And not just try to win one game, but try to win the whole series. So you can do certain things in game 1 that help you win game 2, and that is really cool. And of course, most of the time, all of these mind games end up not really adding up to anything, but it still feels fun. And I like the fact that Cenderze is sending this Overlord kind of in an unusual path here. Maybe checking for proxies or other shenanigans down here. I'm just trying to hide this Overlord so he can't get sniped by Marines later. And still drone scouting here through the middle of the map. But no shenanigans here. Once again, looks like very standard builds from both players. Looks like another 2-hatch build from Cenderze. Mazer, just a little bit too late to get the 15 command center, which you can technically get if you scout your opponent is going 12 hatch in time. But 18 isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. And this SCV, he will follow this drone to the pits of hell. There, he does get pulled off. So I think it seems like we're going to see the same tech choices from both players, which is a pretty reasonable thing to do, honestly. Like, especially because both of their builds were completely straightforward. Like, it's not like a cheese build that your opponent will just blind counter in game 2 if you use it in game 1. I don't know. I have, like, an issue where, like, I hate doing the same build 3 times in a row. Like, I try to mix in something stupid, and then inevitably that's the game that I lose in my series. But these players are both being very reasonable. Probably making their coaches very happy there with their practice builds. Still looking very much like game. When we get the Spire coming, we have the Academy here hiding under the UI. Second barracks. And at the risk of repeating myself, again, I really hope Mazer actually tries to move out here a bit earlier. Just put something on the Zerg. Like, even if you just like leave your natural, force him to make some lings, and then go back. I mean, that's better than just sitting at home the whole game. Mazer again getting this eBay. So it lines up quite nicely with the impending arrival of the Mutalisks. Oh, okay, here there's finally a difference here. Cenderze is not getting that quick third base, instead getting that third hatchery in the main here. Just being a bit safer, but still getting that increased production. And I wonder why that is. I guess it could be just because there's no other naturals on this 2-player map, obviously. Mazer gets a scan off in the main, sees everything. Turrets are coming online just as the mutas are flying across. Turrets in the main as well. This is something that like I just like to see because I have such a hard time like hitting timings that are this precise. Like something like this, like my turrets would either be way too early or way too late. Like I never think of like, oh, it's this time I need to do this thing. I always, or like even like, oh, it's this supply I need to do this thing. I always think like of the order that I build my stuff. Like I get 2 goons and then I get my Nexus and then I get 1 more goon and I get the robos, like something like that. Like, but past like 25 supply, I can't keep track of the build order anymore. Again, we have a pretty fast factory here. So Mazer's not going to slouch on the tech. So I think it's a fast factory. Actually, I have no idea what the timing expectation on that is. Cenderze making quite a few lings out of these 3 hatcheries at home. Maybe trying to bust in here. The marine count is pretty light here. In the first game, these mutas were quite effective at thinning out the Bioforce. Could be that Cenderze is waiting for this air attack upgrade to finish before diving in here. Meanwhile, the third base reserve started at the close third. I think we just get a few shots off on the mineral line at the National before the Marines stim over to shut them down. Oh, these poor medics getting stuck behind the mineral line. By the way, something that I didn't know until recently as a Kratos player is that medics, you can't like displace them, I guess. Like they don't like bug out. By the way, well, I'm saying that the medic just straight up walked through the minerals. Like didn't even bug through the minerals, just straight up ignored them. But like if you try to drill medics to get them out of place, they won't do it for some reason. I'm really curious about all these lanes that were made. Like I thought Cenderze was going to be aggressive, but maybe decided or thought the better of it. Third base though for Zerg does get online. Getting that Queen's Nest and Evo Chamber. Ready to go into those high-tech units pretty soon. Meanwhile, we have once again, the 2 starports in the science facility coming online. So both players being mostly consistent in their strategies between games. Oh, we have 2 groups of lanes out now. Cenderze definitely wants to sandwich this Bioforce when it moves out. He gets into a bad position. Alright, Mazer's going to be posturing aggressively a bit earlier than last game. And even we even do see another dropship made again. Which I think is always brave when there's muted on the map. Oh, but right when the dropship loads up, or right when the army is all onto the Zerg base, Cenderze dives into the National. The bunker goes out immediately. The dropship gets taken out before it can unload all of those Marines. And meanwhile, the Terran army is scrambling back here, but I think the Zerg force is going to do so much damage in the meantime. Trying to run into the Natural just as the first defenders make it back home. On top of the barracks here, but there's still plenty of turrets in the mate for Terran to deal damage to these Mutalisks. He's trying to wreak havoc in here, but I think the Marines are definitely cleaning out the mutas. Actually, many mutas. I think like 5 or 6 mutas were killed by turrets there. But look at the supply. Cenderze is actually ahead. Now it seems like the macro has kind of been shut down by that attack. That is something like that's not an insignificant part of the game. It's like continuing to macro when something weird happens. So maybe it has to reset their brain a little bit here. But in the meantime, a lurker just walks into the Natural, not even drop, just straight up scuttles in there. Gets a few SCVs. Actually shuts down the production of this turret. The time flipper comes in and helps to clear that out. I think we heard the last of the mutas die. Alright, so they did not scan these lurkers, but... Oh god, no, the vessel's not with the army! The wizard does scan. Oh, the scan wears out at the worst time. And those lurkers are really effective at slowing down the Terran push here. Oh my god, look at this. It's a huge army for Zerg at home. It'll be pretty hard to break even some of these lurkers being placed to block drops. Hive tech is done. Don't see any Defiler Mound or Ultra Cavern or anything. Terran's third base is flying out. I do want to see if we see those battle cruisers again, because they didn't really get a chance to shine in the first game, but I would love to see like a mass BC strategy payoff. It just makes the inner 10-year-old it'd be happy, because that reminds me of like how much time I spent playing like on hunters against 7 computers, just amassing battle cruisers. It's like that is how StarCraft is meant to be played. Trying to get some, build up a decent flock of science vessels. It's scary, but man, this is... Well, you know what? I mean, like, these lings are not going to be super useful unless they are comboed with something else from the Hype Tech. And here we go. Finally, we have Defiler Mound and the Ultra Cavern and a second Evo going down. You know, Terran is pushing out towards the top of the base, trying to keep track of what they're scanning, but... I'm going to try to threaten this third base, but there's 5 lurkers stacked on top of each other here at the top of this ramp. Oh my god, I'm not sure if maxed out Marines can make it up that ramp. That's some serious help. Alright, starting to irradiate these lurkers. There's so many of them. And Cenderze is trying to get up a Nidus Canal here, maybe trying to bring a Defiler in. The Defilers to come in and consume is almost done. There are plenty of vessels, but Spore here actually does manage to take one of them out. Oof. The no 4th base reserve, that is another big difference from the last game. It's kind of funny because like it wasn't really forced by Terran. Like, this is the first real aggression we've seen from Terran. But these bases are maybe like there's something about Eclipse is that finding a 4th base can be difficult. Most of them are quite open. I guess there's only really 2 choices for your 4th, right? This one, which is very open, and this one, which is very far away and kind of towards stern. You see, actually, Mazer scanning these 2 bases, making sure Zerg isn't sneaking something out there. But speaking of sneaking, Cenderze has brought links to this undefended base. There's a bunker, but it's empty. It's 4 meters sent over, but the Lings can get it in there first. Definitely threaten this 3rd base while the army's over here. Somehow the Marines make it into that bunker, but the bunker just gets chewed up anyway. There's more Lings streaming across the map, trying to look for some kind of weakness in the Terran defense. And Mazer isn't sure what to do here. Continuing to irradiate this stack of lurkers. But now there's ultras being spawned. We saw 1 Defiler go down, but there's 2 more here in the natural. Definitely gonna be hard to break the space. Oh, huge group of Lings here. Catches the SCV transfer back to the 3rd. There's a Defiler. Manages to get off a Dark Swarm in the Terran Natural. We've seen this plenty of times. It's be deadly to Terran. Now the Defiler is going to go down. The Lings are still here. Don't see any Defilers coming across the map to like continue that Dark Swarm problem. So I think eventually... Wait, well, I lied, because there's one right here. the Lings straight up the ramp outside of the Darkstorm. The Natural Command Center wasn't lifted, so it actually is destroyed there. Definitely unfortunate. And look, it is true. SCVs, they look like they're melee units, but they actually just have a range of 0, so they still don't hit under a Darkstorm. It's real. Somehow one Ultra makes it across the map to attack these Marines here. And this force has just been like thinned out here. Like Marines and science vessels have been slowly picked off as Mazer just tries to take out this third base. The last lurker at the ramp is about to go down, but there's just not that much left for Terran to actually take out that base. Meanwhile, another Defiler and the Lings are here at the third. Darkstorm gets up in the last second to save the Defiler. Oh, there we see him in the production tab. 3 battle cruisers at a time. Zerg still does not have a 4th base. That could be the real story of this game, despite there being, trades on both sides. The important thing could be that Zerg is only on 3 gases, trying to support a lot of expensive high-tech units. Not able to get the 4th or 5th bases that would really let Zerg go out of control. Another police car drives down my street. Ultralisk is gunned down by all these Marines. The third base for Terran is lifted. The Natural Command Center still has not been rebuilt. So Terran's economy is not in great shape either. And Cenderze is trying to take these bases in the bottom right, and once these are up, they're very hard to extricate. Pretty much in any matchup. Finally, the National Command Center starts to be rebuilt just as all these Lings run in here. Another Defiler makes it across the map. And Ultras and Cracklings shut down the rebuilt Natural here. And like this is like a big part of why Terran wants to be on the map. Like, not only are you trying to damage Zerg, but like if you're fighting out here, even if you lose the fight, it means that all of the Zerg's attention and Defilers are here, right? So like the Darkstorm's gonna be here, and then maybe if you lose a fight, then you end up here, right? And so you have time to like just deal with it. But if you're just chilling in your base, Zerg is gonna come here, and they're gonna use their Darkstorm here, and like all of the collateral damage is gonna be in your base. So this is a big part of TVZ. It's just staying active on the map, even if you're losing fights. At a certain stage, you just always want to be on the map. But look at this, the BCs, they are pew-pewing their way to victory here, taking out the rest of the attackers at the Natural. They have both upgrades, just like last game. There's a second armory here, and what is this, 3 starports? Yeah. Yeah, and we do finally have Zerg realizing that, well, they have all this money and all this map control. Might as well be taking literally every base on the map. Alright, can Cenderze actually take advantage of it, though? I mean, like, it'd be funny if, like, Cenderze, like, sent all of the drones here, like, got, like, full saturation at this base just to drain out all of the resources before Terran can take it back. VCs are nice, but they're so slow. Like they have to stay back here. And these Lings actually like take a long time to kill with these BCs. They take 2 shots each. I think they take out the ship weapons at the last second. That's ridiculous. Cracklings do so much damage. Especially, what are the upgrades on these melee units? If I can find a single one that's still left. Seems like all these larvae are going to drones right now. Here he goes. Like 2-3. I'm just waiting for that third attack upgrade, then they will be completely fully upgraded. So there's all these bases, all these hatcheries just finished. Has to figure out how to actually make use of them. BCs, there we go. Finally make it to one of the Zerg bases. There's nothing here to stop them. They do so much damage here. These shreds just get obliterated. We have a small squad of Marines here to help support the BCs. We have a ton of Scourge here, but BCs are actually pretty good against Scourge, especially when they have the upgrade lead. They end up one-shotting these Scourge. Look at that. It looks like maybe 3 of those Scourge hit. Right? Like... it is not at all cost-effective for Zerg. When you get this many BCs in one play, a Scourge are not the answer. They have to come all the way back here to save the main. Small ground attack. And the strength of the Bio-Terran is how mobile the army is, but BCs are, you know, they haven't invented the teleport anywhere on the map upgrade yet. Force here in the middle of the map gets cut up by this Defiler, has to retreat away from the Darkstorm. You have Yamato Cannon in the upgrades, which is always sick. Ooh, and this base over here was taken out while I wasn't paying attention. Looks like these Marines got it. And this base, so 3 Zerg bases were just taken out, but Zerg is still up 2 bases after all that. Terran doesn't seem to be in much shape to get a 4th anytime soon. Oh man, these small numbers of Scourge are not going to do it. These cracklings though, just small groups of crackling. It's so funny. We have these like huge fights in the natural and in this like front yard area with like defilers and vessels and DCs, and meanwhile at the same time we have like a couple Lings go up the ramp and do more damage. The battlecruisers have set their sights on these bases in the bottom right. These 3 spores are not going to be enough. Though we do have the +2 ship attack done. That cruisers actually scale decently well with the upgrades. Hatchery gets wiped out. But again, like these small numbers of Zerg units, they're gonna force these battlecruisers to commit to one location. I think these are like unupgraded hydras, by the way. Yeah, there's no range attack upgrades. I don't think they have range or speed, but they can hit air, which is pretty good for Zerg right now. Oh my god, that was like 4 Yamatos on one Defiler. Get blasted. Oh, we got D-Matrix on the Battle Cruisers. Got waves of Zerg headed here to the Terran Natural. There's not that much mining left to be done at the third. Where are these Battle Cruisers going to go? They are heading home. Are they going to get here in time to stop this? The drone with the dinosaur egg gets shot down. Are you serious? Look at that. Look how close these are. Okay, the link finally strays close enough to enter the BC. And that third, the last mining base for Terran, does get shut down. Meanwhile, what is left for Zerg mining is not a lot either. Both players are essentially mined out. Like, there's like what, like 1,000 minerals, maybe 1,500 minerals for Zerg. Terran is straight up mined out, but you can always lift this command center. Oh my god, come on. Just leave like 1 BC at home. You don't need to send the whole force. Okay, we're sending 3 back to deal with that. Wow. 9 battle cruisers are crossing the map, headed right for the Zerg base. And is there anything here to stop it? I don't know. A rogue medic out on the map scouts this 4th hatchery. Is that where the battle cruisers are going to go? I mean, it'd be nice to take this out, but there's actually no mining here, right? So taking the tech out is fine, but I think at this point you can shut down mining. Oh my god, the chat was talking about it. There's the plague. It hits literally every single battle cruiser at once. And again, somebody tried to tell me the storm is better than this. But you know what? One thing that's not good about plague is it actually can never deal fatal damage, right? And is there anything left to actually take out these battle cruisers? Not at this base. This is the last mining for Zerg. This hatchery was shut down by a single Marine and an SCV. The Scourge can't even make it to the Plague battle cruisers. We have a last set of links coming in here to the main. Wait. There were like 4 battlecruisers here in the main. What happened? Oh my god, they're all gone, but you know what? Lings can't hit air buildings. Holy shit, are we actually going to see this go to, like, killing all of the buildings? Hell yeah, Yamato the Defiler, man. Get that shit out of here. Lift the command center! 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 No! Alright, oh, okay, we did get 1 out. Alright, we got 1 out. We have the minerals to build at least 1 SCV. Meanwhile, Zerg, these are the last drones in the game. There's not enough minerals to build another hatchery. So what could kill these buildings? Like, the Spire is dead. The Hydra Den is dead. Only these Hydras could win a stalemate for Zerg, but they're not going to get through all of these battle cruisers, right? I just want to know, there were like 4 battle cruisers at home. What happened to them? Did they join the fight while I wasn't paying attention? Is this them? This could be them, yeah, because these have not been hit by plague, right? Okay, so these I think were brought over. Oh my god, this is actually going to go to the building elimination. This is ridiculous. Yamatoing the spores. Charging in there. One of the back cruisers does get blown up, but who cares at this point? These are the last buildings for Zerg. Are we gonna build an extractor? No, there's no drones. This is it. Oh, taps out before the last sub dies. With the GG, and we're gonna head to game 3. Wow. Turns out mass battle cruiser is pretty good, guys. Absurd. And you know what? This is going to be the first game 3 of this entire group. All of the previous series ended up being 2-0. Okay, we are going to head into game 3 just as soon as I turn on the lights in my room. Don't want to strain my poor little eyes. Let's go into game 3 here. On Neo Sylphid, I literally forgot what the map was. And in the top middle of Neo Sylphid, in the gray Zerg, it's Cenderze. And in the bottom right, in the orange chair, the battle cruiser captain themselves is Mazer. Alright, so in the first 2 games, we basically saw both players do essentially the same strategy. Like, Cenderze didn't expand quite as fast in game 2, but overall it was the same thing. Now, are we going to see that again? Or are we going to see something different in this game 3? Am I in the bathroom? No, I have a big, like, Brita water filter in my fridge, but I brought it out. I brought it to my desk so that I don't have to run to the fridge every time when I fill my water bottle. I didn't think you could pick it up on my new mic. You know, I have this feeling that both players are going to stick to the builds that have served them well through this series. 2 hatch against 2 Rex Academy. I don't really see these players changing it up too dramatically. Another 12 hatch from Cenderze. Gas right away, so they're 3 hatch this game. Now, I'm trying to figure out, based on what we saw in the first 2 games, will Cenderze be getting the quick third? And I think we will see that because there is, of course, another natural here. One of the things that I do like about this map is how many choices there are for where to take your third. And indeed, like your 4th and 5th and beyond bases here. So, like, we could see Cenderze take this, but also, like, these high ground bases are so good for Zerg. Like, this one could be really good for Zerg. Like, it's high ground with a small ramp. There's a gas here, of course. It's far by distance, kind of. It's not super far by distance from the natural, but it's close by air, so like mutas can quickly get between all of these bases to defend. And we have the lair and speed coming out of Cenderze, just like games 1 and 2. 18 command center, command Mazer. Get up a quick bunker. I think this is the most Muta-friendly map out of these three. You notice that there's no just space behind the minerals to build turrets. Like it's much harder to build turrets in this natural. This natural is very small and cramped, and of course around the main there's all of these cliffs that make it easier for mutas to approach without being shot at. Hold on, is there no eBay? I was about to say it looks like the same thing. There we go, the eBay is started. I was scared there. I think before the eBay and the Academy were mostly at the same time, but I think maybe the Academy is just faster this time because this is a totally fine timing for this eBay. I think maybe like a little bit late. I'm actually not sure. I think we'll find out shortly. Oh look, I called it, guys. Cenderze is going to end up getting this third base. Not the natural. Uh-oh, my neighbors made a sound, so my cats are panicking. Anyway, in this game, it's the same thing that we've seen twice before. Turrets, starting to get a little bit spooky. The mutas are just about done. Turrets are not started yet, even though that eBay is done. We do have the attack upgrade for the Marines coming. Mutas starting to fly out on the map. There we go, the turrets. Turrets galore in the main. But what about the natural? Okay, we got 1 and 2. Small group of Marines standing here. Alright, the Marines are, or the mutas are all up in the natural turrets. Just now finished. Probably not be following mutas with the right click unless you want to get some motion sickness. Hydrogen coming up to get those lurkers. Gonna make those bases so hard to crack. Is there a factory? I don't see a factory just yet. I think that's another thing that's different here. We don't see more barracks being added either for Mazer. And Mutas coming in for another attack run on the natural mineral line, but the turrets are firmly up. Marines stimming here. The Mutas wisely back up. Now, does this block the gas? Does this? Okay, I think I guess they must take this line to get to the gas. Well, we got the Overlords hanging out in the top left by the giant ramp that lost all the stairs on it. Their base gas is online. A few more drones being made. Lurker tech is almost done, but definitely going to lock down that base. Here we go. There's the factory, the starport, and the extra barracks coming online. Mazer sticking to the tried and true build. But again, still not being very active on the map. I feel like this just has to be a mistake. But I suffer from this sometimes, where I'm just like, oh, well, if I attack, I'll definitely die, so I'll just sit up in macro and hopefully I'll have an advantage later. So I know how this feels. So there's just mutas are lurking outside of the natural. So we have quite a few mutas coming out here. No, just B11. I thought we might be over one control group. Not quite. We have lurkers and hydras being made at that third base. Gonna lock that down for sure. Oh, and Overlord strays too close to the sun. He gets killed, but Cenderze is not quite supply blocked by that. The trusty dropship comes out. In game one, it did make it to the main. But in game two, it was kind of shot down immediately while the Zerg was attacking the Terran Natural. The Filer Mount coming up in the Zerg base. I feel like in the previous games, especially in game one, we saw the Filer Mound and the Ultra Cavern at the same time. But Cenderze had trouble getting them both like active at the same time. So I think it's probably smart to just get the Defiler Mound for now. The dropship, I think, was in vision, but so that might clue Cenderze in. Ensure that they put Scourge and Mutas on the drop paths. Dropship is out though, taking a very long route around the map. The Mutas though, they're hungry. They know it's out here somewhere. They do miss it. He's diving in on the natural again. Drop continues the secret mission over here, taking a long time to get there, but that's fine. I feel like this army has kind of been forgotten. It's sort of in the middle of nowhere in a non-threatening location to Zerg. Maybe he wants to wait for this drop to get in to time the attack. Does not go for the third base. Goes straight to the main, but it seems like Lings have seen that coming. There is also a Defiler here. Mutas are headed to that drop as well. A couple of drones do go down though. Oh, Consume is not done, so the Defiler's not quite ready to cast Darkstorm to save this mineral line. The Defiler gets sniped. We do. Another one. Dropship gets taken out, but the drop did a decent work. I just wish that Mazer tried to poke at the front at the same time and cause some chaos. But also there's several stack lurkers. Maybe that would not have been the correct call. Oh, we have Plague in production and not an Ultra Cavern. We have a Greater Spire. Alright, are there vessels to deal with that? I know we've seen these starports, but actually... Oh, here we go. Okay, there are 4 vessels. And of course, with these 2 starports, Mazer can start making wraiths if they have to. But, Greater Spider's definitely going to spice it up a bit here. Problem is, though, it's like... I feel like Guardians are like a finishing move. Like, ironically, Guardians, you don't want them on defense. So, Cenderze is definitely going to have to drive Mazer out of their natural first for being able to make use of the Greater Spire. So there's 5 lurkers though stacked pretty tightly. Going to make mincemeat of these Marines, and these side vessels trying to radiate them all, but it's hard to do when they're all stacked like this. But somehow, the Bioforces survived. They chew through the defenses here. And now these drones are undefended. Where is all of the Zerg stuff? The Mutas show up at the last minute. One lurker does burrow here. Cenderze might be able to survive this. We have a wave of Marines coming. Links crossing the map. Scourge take out a vessel. Oh, a Defiler comes from somewhere. Lays down a Dark Swarm here. Tries to protect his natural. That triggers the side vessels come in here. Looks like Maze's trying to run into the main to avoid dealing with that Dark Swarm. This is where all the tech is. It's also clustered up. Terran is going to find the Greater Spire. He's going to gun down these drones. What tech are they going to focus on first, though? I think Zerg is going to be able to save the tech. Marines are not really focused on any one thing. But you tell both players are pretty focused on this. Production tab is pretty quiet. Seems like this force is eventually going to get wiped out here from Terran. There was plenty of damage done to Zerg. The drone count was cut down significantly. Defilers were irradiated left and right. The mutas were all killed. Greater Spire was found out, but like with all of the mutas dead, and the vessel count staying up, I don't think we'll be seeing Guardians anytime soon. And as Fuzzy Branch points out, the Defiler Mound was saved. Definitely a victory for Zerg there. This third base did, it was landed during that fight. Hasn't really been saturated yet. At least you find a way to get some damage in there. The thing about this base is like, it has such little resources. Like each mineral field only has 2/3 of the regular minerals. There's only, what, 6 of them here? And the gas is 1,500 out of a regular 5,000, right? Oh, I'm trying to select this gas, and let me do it. So, like, these bases just suck. But it is a little bit more defensible than, like, this one, I guess. Major taking a very, very ambitious 4th base up here. I guess it is close to this 3rd, so the army will at least be nearby to defend it. But it's also close to the Zerg, and it is surrounded by cliffs. So if there are Guardians, they you might have a good time there. Well, the Ultra Cavern is coming out for Zerg. I wasn't really thinking about a very preemptive Dark Swarm goes down. But Maze's still going to move towards that location. Has not seen the 4th base of Zerg. It went up here in the 9 o'clock natural. Ooh, maybe thinking about irradiating this worker line. No, it's going for the Defiler. Oh, another big plague. Actually, the vessels dodge it. So it's just a small group of Marines that does get plague. Not nearly as juicy as that one we saw in Game 1 or the gigantic plague on all other battle cruisers. Killers are trying to spawn here. Their chitinous plating is not quite done. Radiate, putting a lot of damage down on these ultras. Oh my god, the links! Taking the secondary damage from the irradiate. Oh my god, the drone line! The Ultra betrays the Zerg. I think actually at least one of those drones went down. These vessels just pick apart the Zerg defense. And now the Marines are here to clean up what's left. We have a few lurkers coming out, but this many Marines are not really going to care. Defilers, I think, are what Cenderze needs right now. Drones are slaughtered here at the natural. See some ultras and links coming out of the production tab, but I'm worried those are just going to get chewed up without the protection of the orange cloud. Meanwhile, the larvae and eggs are just unkillable by these Marines. Oh, 3-3 for the bio, and a drop does find this fourth base. The melee attacking rate is almost done here. So it's 0-5 on these ultras. So this bio unit is going to be super tanky. With a huge upgrade lead there. Yeah, the Ultra Cavern actually, is it going to get... Nope, the speed upgrade does finish. Just barely. Ooh, Scourge catch these brave science vessels in the main. But I'm starting to think that Mazer has done it. Seems like Zerg is just out of steam here. Science vessels in this game, like, really picked apart Zerg. Like, the irradiates were so good. Definitely focused on sniping those defilers. In that first attack at the natural, the Marines somehow chewed through like 5 lurkers. Oh! The D-Matrix! The D-Matrix on the Ultra. Now, was that a misclick or was it BM? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But we did have the GG and the GFG from Mazer. That's going to be the end of that series. We're going to get to the final series of the set, Esskiya versus Forte. Right after I update the scores. Now that I know not to use my numpad to put in the scores, thanks to Superman the other day. Alright, let's get into... Here it is. Now it's going to be the second TVT of the group. I know you're excited to see that. Alright, in the bottom left of Goodnight. In the bottom left. In the blue, it's Esskiya. And in the bottom right, it's Forte in the red Terran. Now, both of these players are pretty recognizable. We've seen Esskiya in the chat today and yesterday. Esskiya is a big chat lord of CPL. And Forte, of course, has done quite a bit of casting for CPL, so you'll love to see it. So this should be a pretty good match. So this match didn't get casted, but it seems like it won't be happening at this point. In week 2, Esskiya was my opponent. And in game 2, like, I didn't even 12 next. I just did like a regular expand. And this fucking Chad just pulled the boys and killed me anyway. Like, so I want to see if Esskiya brings that energy to a TVT, where he'll just pull the SCVs at any time. Hey, Alpha for Toast, thank you for the Prime sub. Love having you on. It's the 3-month anniversary. You know, we're starting to show a bit there. The belly's getting a bit rounder. That's the Deltarune "Somebody Joined Your Party" song. Anyway, in this video game, looking pretty similar from both players. A bit of a faster gas from Forte, but like a few seconds faster. Now, lately in TVT, I think the meta has been trending towards a Vulture Man, like the 1 factory expand into 3 factory vultures, and then into 5 factory vultures, and you keep making vultures. But like I said yesterday, in CPL, I see a lot of like 1 factory expand against 2 factory pressure, and the 2 factory pressure almost always loses, so I guess we're going to find out what these players think. Scouting SCB from Forte being driven off. Actually runs into the corner. Eskia is going to clean that up. Meanwhile, Eskia finds Forte's base in the bottom right. And the same is going to happen to the scouting SCB. Again, it goes to the same corner. Oh, wait, is it going to get around? Oh my god, someone cue the Benny Hill music. It is going to make it into the main. It's going to run all the way behind the minerals. Just see everything in here. Alright, I'm really curious what's going to come out of these factories. We have vultures. Are we going to see more factories? Ooh, actually, the command center for Forte started significantly earlier. I'm not really I guess maybe Eskia was focusing too much on the scouting SCV. I'm not sure, because it doesn't seem like Eskia got anything else quicker. Alright, we got the machine shop, and I think given this SCV being here, that this machine shop is going to be for vulture upgrades. And we are going to see, yeah, we're going to see 3 factory vulture against 3 factory vulture. Let's go. Alright, so this is like, it's pretty funny to me. Just like vultures against vultures. The thing is, like, it's pretty deadly actually. Like, if one player tries to get a few tanks, you would think that tanks would demolish vultures, but with good mind placement, the vulture player can absolutely kill a few tanks. So both players are kind of incentivized to stay on vultures for a while here, and somehow Eskia, with 2 vultures against 3, feels brave enough to dive in and kill one of the Marines. Yeah, outlet for toast. Like, it's kind of funny, like, mirror matchups, like, you can't blame any shenanigans, really. Like, you can't blame, like, oh, my Bruce is too weak in a mirror matchup, and when both players go basically the same build, like, you can really see the difference in, like, decision making and mechanics. And the thing is, like, this isn't really a situation where you can just sit back and defend, because, like, the whole point of this build is to get map control and, like, lay mines and stuff. Look at this. Forte has more vultures for a little bit here. Now, actually, I have no idea what's going on. I think the vultures of Forte are moving around a bit much, maybe too much focus fire. But still, they have a numbers lead on Eskia. Eskia tried to repair, but the SCVs are slacking here. Oh, but there we go. The next wave comes out for Eskia, and now Forte is on the retreat. Pretty scary for a minute there. Like, there was a moment where Forte had like 2 or 3 more vultures during that fight, but Eskia managed to even that out. Oh my god, this is the ballsiest command center I've ever seen. It's in the low ground. Like, it's built on site in the low ground when Eskiya's vultures are out here trying to set up a contain. Meanwhile, the boys were pulled to help tip the scales in favor of Eskiya's vultures here, and now it's Eskiya with a significant vulture lead. Now, a tank is here. If you don't know, vultures only deal 5 damage per shot to a tank, but when there's this many of them, man, they kill that tank quick. We have a Goliath here, which also is pretty beefy against vultures, but the mines are out. The worker line is basically undefended, and Eskia is going to be free to do a lot of damage here. Even more vultures coming. Oh, the mine gets blown up before it can be dragged onto all of the SCVs. Oh my god, the mine! Look, spider mines have no friends. The spider mine killed like 6 of Eskiya's own vultures. Super unfortunate. And actually, I think the SCV protection from Forte has just been pretty solid all game, because despite all of this damage that was just dealt, Forte is still significantly ahead in the workers. Now, this fight is not over yet, though. The vultures of Eskiya made it into the main mines, managed to connect with a tank. Whatever comes out of these factories is going to have a hard time dealing with this. Tank number 2 gets taken out by mines. Seems like, I guess what happened here is like Forte overextended with that first push. It tried to switch into tanks just a bit too early. Like maybe it needed to like wall off the natural or something to avoid taking this much damage from the counterattack. But still Forte is ahead in workers. Like, I keep checking, like, was there a run by here? Do I have the wrong colors? No. Like, Eskiya's still behind in workers, but having mines all over your factories is not a good thing. Somehow, alright, put like 1 vulture on the natural minerals, right? But Forte does tap out, and Eskia wins the vulture v vulture main matchup in game 1. Oh my god, look at this. Look, this is why you host in top versus bottom, so I can change the colors. Look at this. Can you guys imagine casting this game? Like, what if this went into like a 45-minute TBT and it was white versus gray? Are you kidding me? No, we're doing red versus blue. Here, in the bottom left, in the blue Terran, it's EskiyaPRIME. And in the top right, in the red, it's Forte. Also in Terran. Alright, so Eclipse in TBT definitely has the ability to go really long, because of course you can split the map pretty well. There's not a ton of bases, because it is a 2-player map. But TBT doesn't necessarily have to go super long. Like we just saw, if one player makes a big mistake, gets out of position, the other player does have the ability to punish if they're being aggressive. I have a feeling, though, that we're probably going to see something similar. Both players go for that Vulture build. Maybe just Forte will be a bit more careful this time. Because it is still a very solid build. And, like, Vultures are one of the best counters to Vultures. We could see, like, maybe hypothetically Forte isn't feeling so confident after that one. Maybe go for something safer, like get some Goliaths early to fend off the Vultures, something like that. But even if that happens, like, and even if Eskia can't get damage done directly with the Vultures, you can still contain his opponent. Oh, look at this. Eskia is checking for proxies and other shenanigans. Pretty smart choice on this map. I mean, it's so easy to hide a proxy back here. And it only delays the scout by a few seconds, which isn't that big in TVT. On the other hand, though, like on a two-player map, I feel like it almost makes more sense to go straight to the opponent's base because you're going to know that they're proxying you if they don't have buildings in their base. It's faster than checking every location they could be hiding something. Alright, Eskia going down to one guy in gas. Forte going down to one guy in gas. So we are going to see a one factory expand here from both players again. Eskia even lifting the barracks after just two Marines here, feeling very confident. Doesn't need that anymore. Pretty much that's true. Like, barracks is kind of dead weight in this matchup. Command Center started for Forte again. A bit earlier than that of Eskia, just like first game. Getting that machine shop after the first Vulture, but we don't see signs of more factories coming up here for Forte, so maybe Forte is going to take a different build. Factory number 2 coming out for Forte, so maybe I was completely wrong. Let's see what the upgrades are out of this machine shop. We have factory number 2 up for Eskia, and then the machine shop. The barracks are crossing the map. I think we might see the barracks kiss, like right about here, right here. I'll get back to you on that. The naturals are finishing. Trying to figure out what's coming out of these factories. I haven't seen speed or mines. No, they're gonna miss! No. Starcross lovers. It was not fated to be. They're gonna see each other and then think about, like, it's like when you see that stranger in the subway and you're like, damn. What could have been? Oh no! It turns around. It's like, I want it. I'm gonna take that choice. Nah, man. And then he chickens out. Alright, I think at this point I can safely say it's gonna be 3 Factory Vulture for Eskia, and there you go. Alright, speed has started for Forte as well, so both players sticking to their guns. And Forte again is the first one to move out here with the big squad of Vultures. Well, and then immediately proves me wrong by just stopping. Alright, let me see if I can make an actual guess what's going to happen here. So we have 2 Marines, and what is this? 7 Vultures, and then 8 Vultures and 2 Marines. Yeah, but these Marines can hit the barracks. But neither player wants to move out. I think Forte remembers what happened in the first game. Oh, here we go, here we go. players out here on the map, ready to fight. I think Eskia, with this defender's advantage of being closer to the spawn point, actually has a noticeable advantage in terms of the vulture count. The barracks for Eskia is going to burn down now, but it might actually scout this SUV that wants to build a third. Meanwhile, the barracks for Forte is being more conservative here in the middle of the map. Alright, is high ground enough? This is way more vultures for Eskia here. Oh my god, it's not even close. Well, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Forte gonna bring it out. There are more vultures for Eskia now. No, Eskia is gonna finish it with 8 vultures surviving. These last 2 vultures from Forte are gonna get hit just a few seconds too late. And now what is left to save Forte? Only a handful of vultures. 1 tank out into the map is gonna get pounced on. I think like Forte has to like build buildings here really quick to block this off, because okay, charging out here is not going to do, especially if these vultures get stuck behind these marines. Eskia has a big advantage here. But doesn't have caster vision, doesn't quite know how far ahead he is right now. Now we're seeing both players start to try to move away from Vulture Man, especially Forte. These vultures from Eskia are in the dental laying mines all over the place. But there you go. Oh, okay. Oh no, the mine could get the last tank. Okay, this tank barely survives. And Forte has stabilized the game again with a decent worker lead, and this time with a third command center that's almost finished, even if it is actually not inside of the barracks. That's really funny. But there you go. So Eskia should know by now. He sees that gas. Another Vulture v Vulture fight in the middle. With this reinforcement, Eskia might win here. Yes. It tries to threaten this third base. Vulture Forte runs into danger. And SUVs are in danger, except Vultures are choosing to waste their time with the command center instead. Forte's going to scramble to get over here, but there's more mines on the way. Oh, look at that. Tank barely dodged those mines. Did not dodge them in the end. Tank and Vulture going down there. Forte going to lift this command center, but the SUVs are doomed. Vultures, let me tell you, as a Protoss player, Vultures are quite adept at killing workers. I can say that with some authority. We have a drop here from Forte. Actually, 2 starports. Forte going to try to make something happen. But are there... Like, I don't think Forte can spare the units to drop. Actually, I'm not even sure Forte has any units right now. And I got wiped out by these fights. And his third. Both players starting to build a Wraith as well. And Forte is leaning much harder into it, trying to get that Wraith with trying to cloak with 2 starports. But look at all of these Vultures. Eskia is Vulture Man. Charges up the ramp, and Forte taps out, and that is going to be our last game of the night. A surprisingly quick TVT. I think that whole series was shorter than each individual game of Cenderze versus Mazer. That's going to bring the final score between these 2 teams in Tier 1, 2-3. Slightly in favor of the Korean mechanics. Alright, wrong scene. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's our final standings. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Again, match of the week this week will be Wednesday and Thursday. So make sure to tune in tomorrow for that, and on Thursday as well. Now I'm gonna find somebody to raid. We'll call it a night. I think it might just be JN again. It just makes too much sense. Oh, you know what? We'll do Nyoken because we did JN the other day. Alright, so tell Nyoken, hello. And have a good night, everybody.